is Laura, and welcome to the All Aboard podcast, the storyboarding podcast. I am excited to film this video and podcast. I'm going to try to be better at remembering the audio part of it because I never actually made a podcast before. So yes, I'm going to try to remember that maybe people are listening to this instead of watching it. So I would like to talk about productivity and distractions and all that good stuff because I have a really hard time with that. I get very easily distracted. Like, I'm just looking at myself in the camera. I'm like, oh, I look really terrible. Like, talk about distractions. I am recording this at like 9:40 at night. Like, I have barely got this recorded. I don't even know how long this is going to be, but I'm a little bit stressed. But I'm recording it, and that's the important thing. So I beat distraction today. Yes. I would like to talk about how to not get distracted and when it's okay to be distracted, because I think everyone needs a little distraction in their life. I think everyone needs a little away time from their job, away from their projects, because everyone needs to distress, at least in my opinion. So let's talk about that a little bit. So a lot of times for me, distraction goes hand in hand with anxiety, because whenever I'm working on a project and I start not to like what I'm drawing, things aren't going well, like the lines aren't there, like the shading and everything. When everything starts to get too overwhelming, that's whenever I'm the most easily distracted, because the more I dislike what I'm working on, the more it's like, oh, that Hearthstone game, that new mode that came out, it's really interesting, I want to try that instead of drawing. Or, oh, that video came out, I want to watch that video. That's when I'm the most easily distracted, is whenever I am anxious. So I think it's good wherever possible to alleviate anxiety when you're working. So like try to make sure that your workspace is very calming, that your room's clean, that you have something to eat, a snack, and you have a hot drink. Make sure that if you I think it's good to assess, like take a day or a week to assess what makes me productive, what stuff in my work area makes me productive, and what stuff makes me distracted. Like having music, does music help me? Does it distract me? Having a clean room, maybe having a messy room isn't a problem for you, or maybe it is and it's just bugging you. It's in the back of your mind, like, oh, I need to clean my room, I need to clean my room, but you're working and it's distracting you. Try to assess, like, is your room not bright enough? Are you feeling depressed? I would just take a day to assess your working situation, make sure that is all taken care of and good. Second of all, I would suggest just going through, like, make a list of all things that distract you, like YouTube, Hearthstone, like games, people in your household, like what distracts you from doing work. Now, I think it's a good thing to write down distractions and try to avoid them when possible, but also the thing is, you're not a robot. You're not supposed to work 8 hours straight. Like, you do need rests and breaks in between working. So I think it actually helps if you plan your breaks in advance, because then you don't beat up on yourself if you're like, oh, like I need to take like an hour long break because I've been working for 4 hours. Like, I think it's better to schedule breaks into your day, because then I feel like are anticipating them. You're anticipating the breaks, and you also are like allowing yourself to take breaks, which is super important. So what I do when I'm taking breaks is I basically schedule a break at the end, like every 15-minute mark of an hour. So like if it's 1:50, I'll get up, I'll walk around a little bit, I'll use the bathroom, I'll get a snack if I need to, and like I take 10 minutes out of every hour to just take a break. And I know that might seem like a long time to some people, but it's better, like for me, it's a lot better to have like a good solid 15 minutes than have like 3 hours of working, because I actually have like a chronic pain. So if I sit too long, it can get really stressful and tiring. So if I plan my breaks beforehand, it's a lot easier for me to schedule my day and stuff. And I would just say, if there is like something especially distracting you from working, like a game or something, I would say, instead of demonizing that thing and saying, oh, that thing is bad, I should never do it, I think instead you should use it to reward yourself. So like, say if I get these thumbnails done today, I get to play a game of Hearthstone. Or, sorry, my throat's really going. I was just playing a D&D game, so if my throat feels weird, I mean, if my voice sounds weird, I'm sorry, that's why. If it's like a TV show, like say I'm going to finish this part of my project, and then I'm going to watch a TV show. And it's good to break your projects down into little pieces so that you can reward yourself, because if you're just going to say, I'm going to finish this graphic novel, that's not helpful. Like, that's a huge project, and you really, really need to break that down and give yourself little rewards and just cherish the opportunity and be very patient with yourself, because a very long project, you're gonna have hiccups, you're gonna have times where you don't want to work on it, and the best way to avoid that is to plan rest periods for yourself, because resting is so important for artists. We need to rest. Like, once I started drawing so much that my wrist was hurting every single day, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to like strategize. Maybe I need to rethink like how much I'm working. Maybe I need to intersperse different things, and maybe do some editing of videos, maybe do some writing, and then maybe give my drawing hand a little bit of a break. And it's just completely up to you, obviously, your schedule, your time, but I highly recommend breaks. There's a Thomas Frank video that I watched where the idea is basically you should take a break every 30 minutes for like 5 minutes. And you could also try that. I've tried that before, but I get really easily distracted on my breaks. So I try to keep them semi-infrequent. That's another thing. Like, when you're taking breaks, like, make sure you don't go off and do something. Make sure you come back to your project, because it is supposed to be a break. Like, if it's a 10-minute break, like, get your coffee, get your hot tea, and then go back to your project. Like, don't go outside. Do go outside. Sorry, that was do go outside, but make sure that you have your priorities and plan time to do all the things you want to do. So hopefully that was helpful. I probably need to talk about this in depth more, because it's something I definitely struggle with. So if you, as a freelance artist or just artist in general, have thoughts about productivity and taking breaks, I would love to hear it in the comments below, because I like strategizing my day and stuff and trying to optimize things. So if you have ideas, I would love to hear it in the comments below. So yeah. So next topic. I want to talk about something that is a little controversial, just a little bit. The topic is, should you listen to music when you're drawing? So there are a lot of opinions about this, and obviously, some feelings have been had. I have my own opinions, but I also understand both sides. On one side, people say you shouldn't really be listening to music if you're actively creating something. Like, if you're doing mindless tasks, like, that's fine. Like, if you're just sketching over something, or you're doing a bunch of the same thing, that's fine. But if you're creating something, if you're like working on a composition or something, I think that they think that you should not listen to music because it's very distracting. And on the other side, they're just like, you should listen to music, you should watch TV, you should do whatever you want that helps you focus. And maybe you're not your whole attention will be on that subject, but it helps you focus, so you should do it. I'm gonna come clean and just say that I listen to music almost all the time when I'm drawing. I've watched TV shows while I'm drawing. I've watched Twitch, like, all the things. Sorry, my throat's hurting. Like, all the things whenever I'm drawing, because for me, silence often makes me very anxious. So when I'm drawing, if everything is very silent, I have a very hard time focusing on what I'm doing. So I try, like, the music I listen to, I listen to music sometimes, but I actually usually listen to long form YouTube videos, which are basically podcasts on YouTube. So that's what I usually listen to, and I'm not sure if it messes with my productivity or makes my art worse. But for me, because I get anxious when there is silence, I don't really have an option not to listen to music or something. And I have experimented with not listening to music or not listening to a podcast while I'm drawing. And, obviously that is an option. But for me, I have a really hard time focusing on anything. So I need that extra help to just, like, that sound in the background that just keeps me on track. That really, really helps me. And obviously, there are different kinds of art and different needs. So let's talk about them. Animation, if you're doing like lip syncing and stuff, and just in general, like, animation is not the best to listen to music with, because it is such an intense focus that most artists don't recommend listening to music whenever you're animating, because you do have to focus so much. And I definitely agree with that, because I've done a little bit of animation and it's very difficult, and there is a lot you have to focus on and stuff when you're doing animation. So I think that's a special case where if you can, it's probably better not to listen to music when you're animating. But again, it's case by case basis. It depends on who you are and your needs. As far as illustration goes, I think it depends on if you're in the act of creating the picture, like the composition, like the colors and stuff. That part of the picture and that part of the process is very important and special, so you don't want to distract yourself when you're in that part of the creation. So if it does help you, I would totally say not to listen to music during that part, because you need to focus all your energy and attention on that one thing. And if you can, I think it'd be better not to. But again, you might be like me and just like blah, like like silence and not being able to listen to something just drives you crazy. So maybe you do need to listen to music. Maybe you do need to listen to a podcast, and that's totally fine as well. And obviously, I think if you're just doing like mindless tasks, like just doing line art over something that just takes a few minutes, or if you're just doing a sketch for your Instagram or something, I don't think you need to be religious about this subject, because the main point of this rule is to just help you make better art, and you kind of know what helps you make better art. So if music does help you, I think you should listen to it. And if it doesn't, maybe skip it. Maybe you should, if you're listening to this video and you haven't tried making art without music or something to listen to, maybe you should try making art for the first time without anything and see how much your art improves or doesn't improve from doing that. Maybe like you could tell me in the comments below like how that turned out, like if it helped you, if it didn't help you. Like also I'd like to know what kind of music you guys listen to while you're drawing, because I need music recommendations right now. So if you have any ideas, I would love to hear that. I would love to make this video longer, but my my voice is going so bad. I need to stop talking. I just did like a 2-hour D&D session. I need to stop talking because it's really hurting my voice. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for a short episode, but hopefully you liked it. And if you did, you can subscribe down below. And tell me what you thought. Tell me about your productivity tips, about how you take breaks, about what kind of music to listen to, and all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next podcast episode. Bye!